Hi everybody, I'm here today to demonstrate for you how to make some fun and easy specimen cards, and these also have a sweet little dangle if you want to add that as well. So I am a guest designer for Pink Monarch Prints, and my name is Pam. I'm with Silver and Sparkles. I hope you enjoy the video today, and if so, you're also welcome to go check out my channel if that's of interest. But we're going to dive right in and have a lot of fun. So let me first tell you about the papers I'm using. You can find these on Etsy at the Pink Monarch Prints Etsy shop. And the first kit I'm using is their butterfly specimen papers, and there's, I don't remember how many, quite a few, and they're beautiful. So there's so many butterflies to choose from and lots of ways you could use these papers. And then to embellish our specimen cards, I'm using the vintage labels, which are a whole bunch of different labels and different shapes with numbers and things. And then also they have a number circles kit where the neutral, so I think it's called Number Circles Neutral, and one sheet has a little bit more of the black and neutrals in there, and then others are pretty much kind of that tan and sepia colors. So the only other thing you're going to need is some kind of, and I could think of them kind of like a backing paper or a neutral kind of paper. This one isn't, but I really liked how that turned out. This one has a little bit more of a pattern and color to it. The papers I'm using happen to be from Pink Monarch Prints March subscription kit, which you can also get in the shop on Etsy. But I had some left over that I'd printed out, and I thought, well, these are going to be really pretty for this project. So just a variety of papers, and depending on the size of your paper and maybe the size of the butterfly you want to use will depend on what size you need. So I'll give you the measurements of what I'm doing as we go along. So these were just some samples to kind of give you an idea of what we'll be making today, but I'm sure what I come up with here in the video will be a little different. So first, let's make one using this piece of paper. And let me I don't even know how big it is. So let's see, it is 3 inches. Oh, good. It's 3 inches by 6 inches. So if we fold this one in half, we're just going to have a 3-inch by 3-inch square, right? So that's a fun size for a specimen card. And then it wasn't cut quite straight. Like I said, these are just some offcuts of some papers that I had. So I'm just going to even it up just a little bit so it's neater. And then I did some where I just used a circle punch. That's so easy, right? And you can see it through there. And then others, I did use my X-Acto knife and cut out rectangles or squares. So we'll maybe do one of each on the video today. So if you want to, because I don't have square punches, the size that I need. If you do, go for it. That would be great. I've already cut out a few butterflies for us to use. So let me pick one. Ooh, that one's pretty. All right, that one's kind of big. We'll pick that one. I think the green looks pretty there. And then, I did it a couple of different ways, but one is I just used my grid here, and I left my butterfly laying there because I just kind of want the rectangle I'm going to cut to be approximately the right size for the butterfly. So I'm just using the grid to make sure that my ruler is nice and straight. And I'm just going to cut a rectangle and hope I get it pretty straight and the right size for the butterfly so that we'll have a little bit of a rectangle. I'm going to bring my butterfly down just a touch. And again, I'm using my finger to kind of hold the paper steady. Now I could have gone further towards my crease and probably left a little bit wider section here on the edge like I did here, but it's okay. I'm okay with it. I think they look great. Now there's all kinds of Like if you have a die cut machine, you know, there's dies you can get, and there's, I think, specialty paper that even come with specimen cards and things. But I like making my own. And when I saw these butterfly papers, I was like, this is going to be so much fun. I'm going to save that to use, I'm sure, on something else later. And I am going to use a little distress ink. I'm using walnut stain, but you can use any, you know, color you want. I like vintage photo, and there's a few others that I tend to pick up and use. All right. I also treated myself to a new sponge top to my dauber earlier today, so that's kind of exciting. If you do a lot of crafting, you know what I'm talking about. They tend to kind of start to pick apart after they're well loved. Okay. Now, you could leave it just the white back there. I didn't print this paper on both sides. You could also, let's see what this would look like, because I'm not committed to this if I don't like it. You could also take your distress ink and kind of get a little bit of the white off of there, you know, so it kind of blends in. That's an option. What I did on all of mine is I just lined it with another piece of paper underneath. But let's do this just for something different. Let's see. I don't want it too dark, but I don't want it so bright white that shows through. Let's see. What do you guys think? Oh, I like it. We're gonna go for it. Now, I've done different things. It's kind of fun to pick maybe one of these circles, and before I glue my card together, I'm going to just layer one in here and see if we like how that looks. You know, that's kind of fun. Maybe get it up there in the corner so we have some different layers going on. When I do that, and then we'll add some other things on the outside as well. So again, just to kind of make sure it doesn't move around on me, I'm going to just add a little glue under there. And then we're going to glue this flap down. So I do make sure I put some glue around that cutout just so it holds down really well. And I got questions, I think, on the last video that I did about what kind of glue I was using. And this is just a precision bottle that, you know, that you can get from different retailers. And I'm using... this is by Lineco, and it's just a PVA glue. So, all right, but use anything you have. You know, you don't have to buy special things if you have other types on hand. That's just if you need a suggestion. Okay. And like I said, we're just making these simple and fun. So I like that. And then I've been taking some of these labels and maybe wrapping them around and making little accents. I was even thinking it would be fun to wrap one in such a way that it even makes a little bit of a tab. This isn't the right one to do that, but I like this one with it. So I'm going to fold it over, and we're going to glue this edge down. Whoops. To make sure I have it centered where I want it again. Hope you guys can see what I'm doing. I kind of like that this ended up a little off-centered. I don't know. It's making me happy. So we're going to be happy. All right, and then just glue the front down. It just adds a little extra something. All right? And you can keep going, but I'm going to also show you, so I just took, you can use a pen or a pencil, and I just kind of marked where I want to punch. You know, maybe this one I'm just going to do 2 holes, and I'm going to add a little eyelet. Again, give it a little extra, you know, emphasis or design. And if you don't have eyelets, you know, you can just punch the holes. They look cute that way too. I'm using black ones, but I think a metal tone would look good. Whatever you like, whatever looks good to you. So you probably wonder why I'm getting my big crocodile out, the big bite. There's something going on with my handheld one, and it's not setting eyelets correctly. So even though I'm still using it as a hole punch, I have to get this one out to actually set the eyelet. Whoops. And it jumped away, so I got to get another one out. It flew away on me. All right, so after I put this on, this one's done, unless, of course, we want to add one of my little dangles to it. So I think it would look cute with a dangle, but, you know, it actually is really nice just as it is. I can show you on the next one how I did these little notches in a couple of the cards. If you also want to make it look a little bit more like the slide, if you the specimen cards sometimes have. Oh, my little dangles are getting all over there. All right, so to do that, one thing I did with the vintage labels, the neutral ones kit, when you just print it as it comes, they come in this size. I did use my Cricut to cut these out, and occasionally when you choose to use the Cricut, even though it's really helpful if you happen to have one, it's not necessary, but sometimes if it's not lined up exactly right, you have to trim it up just a touch. But that's the size that they come. They look like this, but I also shrunk it down and had the Cricut cut them out smaller. So this is about maybe, I don't know, 50%, 60% size. So now I have some little itsy bitsy ones too to work with, which I thought would work well with the slides we're making today. So to make these, I'm going to use, got it here, my paper piercer to just poke a little hole. I'm going to decide which ones I want. I like having at least maybe 2 or 3. And then if I want to add another little embellishment, we can. A couple of these, I did that. One, I put a piece of lace. And on a couple, I put just like a little charm. That one's a little key, which is kind of cute. But again, not necessary. So I just poke a hole in the labels that I want to use, like that. And then I am using these little bulb pens. And this was a set I got on Amazon that just has different colors. So I'm going to use the black since I used a black eyelet. And we'll just pull them off of there and stick it through the bulb pen, and you just hang it on there. So that's super fun. If you don't have the bulb pens, you could use like a little piece of twine or thread or something if you want it to dangle. So you've got options. All right, so there's one. I'm going to add a little ink around the edges, and that one we made together. So let me just do one more really quick, a different size and where we use a circle punch. So I did a few of these, again, where I offset it, or I had extra space to decorate. That was fun. I also, this one, I used just a piece of the specimen paper in a rectangle and just had the butterfly show through, and then I layered a different butterfly on top just to give it a little bit different appearance. So if fussy cutting isn't your thing, you know, you could still make some of these. So we'll do one that way with the circle punch to show you how easy that is. So again, I'm going to just fold my paper in half. I'll give you the measurement here in just a moment. This one might be almost the same size. Let's see. This paper was 7 inches by 3 inches. So this one will be not a 3 by 3 square, but a 4 by 3 rectangle. And I'm gonna just grab, let me see which one my hand falls on. This is a 1 3/4 inch circle punch. And I'm gonna eyeball it. There we go. All right, I like that. And then the opening isn't, you know, quite as big, but again, if you don't want to fussy cut butterflies, you could do something like that, and that would look great. So we're going to use that butterfly, and I'm going to guesstimate a rectangle around the butterfly. And hopefully I didn't cut it too small. I did, I cut it too small. That's okay, because I printed more butterflies for us. So let's pick one on a different sheet, and I'll be a little more careful as I cut it out. How's that? I don't mind seeing the other ones through. In fact, I kind of like it. It's just deciding because they're so pretty. How about this one? And that way we get some little, I don't know if you guys can even see what I'm doing. You can get a little bit of the other butterflies and the background paper. All right, this time I'm going to be more careful. And see, make sure. All right, so there we go. It's going to fit in there great. I am going to ink around the circle that I punched it out before we glue it together. Okay. And I'm going to add the glue again right around where I punched the circle out on the opposite side. And then go ahead and add glue to glue the whole card together. And I don't want to get glue if I can help it all over my table. There we go. All right. Press it down. I'm going to add some glue here. And then we're going to close it up. Pretty easy. All right, so if you do yours and you decide you don't want it quite this wide, your rectangle, looking for my bone folder, you could, of course, cut it off if you decide this isn't, you know, the size that you want, if you want it to be a little bit different size. But I kind of like it, and it gives us some room to decorate. Let me show you real quick how I did the notches. This is a punch. It just makes a slot that's that shape. It's for ribbon, I believe. But I just barely notched out. And again, I'm just kind of randomly deciding where I want to have these notches. There's no rhyme or reason to it. But just to make it look a little bit more maybe like a slide. And I could do that on some of the other edges as well, or I can leave it. You can look at pictures if you want to of other specimen slides, or maybe even real ones, and get an idea of how you want to design yours. But I'm just kind of winging it. I am going to add some labels and some circles and some different things on here to decorate this one. And I could even maybe add another butterfly if I wanted to. Possibilities are endless. So where are my butterflies I've cut out? Maybe I'll do that. Oh, I like that. We'll add another butterfly since I have this extra space. And these are just really fun little pieces of ephemera that you can use to tuck in a pocket inside a journal, or to decorate a page on a journal. Just so fun. Okay, there's that. And I did like, of course, I'm gonna cover up one of my notches. I did like having it folded over. So this time I'm gonna hold it steady where I want it to be. Glue that down, and then we'll just flip it over and glue this flap down. A little bit easier than what I attempted to do before. Whoops. Okay, now let's see what else we have. I don't think we need another super dark one. Let's see what this one looks like once I get it trimmed up just a little. Sometimes I get this lined up on my Cricut perfectly and you don't have to do any extra trimming, but sometimes it's off just that little smidge. So I'm going to add this little label. Okay. Now on this one, instead of doing eyelets, I'm just going to punch a hole there to show you if you don't have eyelets, that's okay. It really will look good. And I'm eyeballing this. Sometimes I go ahead and mark to make sure I get the circles in the corners a little more evenly, but I think it's okay. All right. And I don't even think I'm going to make a dangle for this one. I'm going to let it be different. And later, if I want a dangle for it, I can certainly get one. So I just wanted to do a really quick video for you guys and show you how you can make pretty quick some really impressive looking pieces of ephemera. All right, so let your imagination guide you, and I hope you guys have fun. And thanks again, Anna and Elena, for having me. I'm having a lot of fun using your papers. Have a great day, everybody.